Good morning, everybody. Time for another pickup here. I'm going to be picking up a load at the Leprino Foods facility in Lemoore, California. I've been to this place numerous times. I'm going to be adding to that total this morning and again tomorrow morning. Right now we're northbound Highway 99, approaching 198. Highway 198 that is, or State Route 198 in Visalia. If you don't know where that's at, it's in between Bakersfield and Fresno. A little closer to Fresno than it is to Bakersfield. About 70 miles north of Bakersfield and about 30 to 40 miles south of Fresno, basically. Anyway, yeah, I got home time coming up on Tuesday and Wednesday, and today is Saturday. So I'm just doing a couple local area loads to keep my wheels turning and all that. Okay, we're gonna get on westbound 198 here. Keep my wheels turning to keep making a little bit of money here before it's time to take the time off. This load is going to be going to, I think it was Montgomery, Illinois. I will not be taking it to Illinois myself. I'm only going to be taking it to our San Bernardino drop yard. And then I'll be grabbing another empty from our yard, going back to my house for another 10-hour break. And do the same process again tomorrow morning. I don't think I'll do videos for both pickups. So I'll probably just do today's video only and give you guys a little bit of a respite from the busy posting activity, at least for pickup delivery kind of stuff. I don't know, I might still post something else in there. Meanwhile. But anyway, we'll go on. I'm not going to have too much rambly stuff, but I do want to answer some questions or respond to certain comments that were posted in various videos since the time of my last Q&A video. I noticed that Q&A video, it didn't have a huge number of viewers, so I mean I think I had fewer viewers than I normally get on my pickup delivery videos. So I'm just going to go ahead and combine this video because I still got 20 miles to go, and kind of give you guys a little bit of scenery here in conjunction with watching the. And don't forget, I put bookmarks in my video descriptions. So if you want to skip ahead to a certain part of the video, more than likely you'll find the bookmarks in the description. You should be able to just tap or click on the bookmark to the specific part of the video that's more of interest to you, okay? With that said, okay, I want to talk, cover some of these things. Some of these are just questions and some of them are just comments that I want to maybe further expound upon or whatever. And first one was from Matt H. Matt wanted to know, I don't know if I responded to this one in that Q&A video. I forget. So just in case, I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. Matt had asked if JCT allows kids to ride. I think that might have been in my JCT lease video. That explains how it shows the spreadsheet and all that. Okay, so the answer to that is yes. In fact, I've had my own kids riding in my truck before. Just got to do a rider policy for each of the kids, or for each kid who's in the truck. FMCSA, there's no actual that I know of age requirement. However, carriers themselves do tend to have age requirements, and that would be because of insurance reasons. So, and if I'm not mistaken, JCT's kids rider policy is they have to be at least age 5. younger than that, they don't think they can ride. Not legally. So, yeah, there's it's basically just a couple of forms you got to fill out. Or, you know, actually, you talk to Javonna Walker. She's in our logs. You know, she's a safety person, but she works in our logs office. And you just talk to her, tell her you want to add riders to your account, I mean, to your truck, and there's a form that has to be filled out for each person who's riding with you, and then there's a $15, I think it is, per month insurance that gets added on to what you pay, you know, if it's just you. All right, so I think that covers that one. Next one, actually two people commented with this. Brandon Kelly and also William Alexander Garcia Quiros. Basically, they both had comments. Wanted to know what kind of advice or tips I might have for new and future drivers. I go pretty in depth with that, but I'll kind of skim the surface on that. Or I'll try to. So let's start with. Well, now I don't know how the new CDL schooling stuff's going to go with this new entry-level driver training program, or ELDT. Because there is a proficiency requirement now for that. It used to not. That didn't exist until just a week and a half or so ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. Not even 2 weeks ago. But generally, take all the advice and inputs you can get from any driver with any level of experience. I don't care if they got 6 months or 60 years of experience. You know, somebody can always have good inputs. Am I going to hit this bird? Nope. Yeah, I've seen drivers with a lot of experience who are just bullshit experience guys who, or maybe they have legit good experience, but certain things within the industry have changed to where what they legitimately knew was good, you know, good information back at the time might not be so necessarily valid today. Case in point, when you're sliding tandems, the age-old wisdom is 250 pounds per hole. So every hole you slide the tandems changes the weights by about 250 pounds on each axle. That is true for 4-inch axles. I mean, for trailers with 4-inch hole patterns, but a lot of them have 6-inch pattern. And if they have a 6-inch pattern, you got to go by 375, or what most people do. A lot of people do is 400 pounds per hole. And every JCT trailer has a 6-inch pattern. So that 250 pounds per hole thing that most experienced drivers will teach you, no good. Well, I mean, it's good if you have 4-inch pattern, but that's another one where know the difference whether you have a 4 or 6-inch pattern on your trailer, and know what the rules are for each state as far as what their actual limits are. And don't go by any decals that might be on the side of your trailer, because I see decals all the time on Sierra England trailers, and I've seen a number of other companies also that put that same decal on, those same decals on their trailers that are not accurate. They're outdated and completely inaccurate in many ways. I'd have to go into more detail on that, but yeah, learn. Go from the horse's mouth too. Look at each state's actual limits. Just look. You can just Google for whatever state axle length or weight and axle restriction limits or something along that line, and you'll have something to work with. When it comes to backing as well, don't be so proud of yourself that you can't be bothered to take advice from somebody who might be able to give you some kind of input that could be helpful. Maybe it's not useful, or maybe it's something you already know, or maybe there's just that little tidbit of info that they can give you that you didn't think about that could be extremely useful to you. Okay, so don't be so against taking inputs. I see that happens a lot here. Good drivers who All they want to do is just be able to prove to whoever that they can do what they can do. And next thing you know, they have an accident. Alright, also, hang on. Yeah, when it comes to backings, don't stare down your tandems. You got a lot of details to look at, to be watching regularly. You want to be looking at your, where the back of your trailer, the ICC bar on the on your trailer is in relation to where you're at. How wide is the space you're trying to get into? How wide is the lane you're working with to back into the space you're trying to get into? How far off is the tractor angled from the trailer? How far is the trailer angled off from the spot you're trying to get into? All those things are important details. Who's over here on your right while you're backing as well? Who's back there behind you on your right side? Your head on a swivel. Watch any of my videos whenever I do backings, and watch how often my head is looking in different directions. I'm looking at a number of and sometimes some of these details I'm using my peripheral vision for as well, and some of them I'm using my tunnel vision for. You gotta use them both simultaneously, right? Same with when you're making turns. I cannot stress this enough. If you watch your tandems, they teach it and they drill it into your head in CDL school, but most people don't. Well, not most, but a good number of people don't get it embedded in their head. I got 6 years experience here now, guys. We're coming up next month. Watch my videos. You can see, and because I have all these cameras, you can see where exactly I'm looking when I'm making turns or whatever. You're going to see my head glued to that mirror. You don't see me looking ahead at where the tractor's going. I'm looking at the damn mirror. Let my peripheral vision worry about where the tractor's going. You know, I might initially get the tractor position right on the correct arc that I'm looking for, where how tight or how narrow, whatever, wide I want the tractor to turn. But otherwise, once I know where I want the tractor to go, and it is going in that direction, I'm glued to that mirror. I can also jump back and forth between the windshield and the mirror or whatever, even over here. And as you guys might see in my videos too, especially when I'm making left turns, I'm coming across, I'm looking over here to watch for obstructions here, but I'm also coming back over to this side to double check that there's still nobody coming from that coming up behind me that I might need to be concerned about. Never assume, okay? Always have your head on a swivel. That's extremely important. Alright, I can go really in depth with that, so I'm just going to kind of cover that there. There's so much more I can cover with that, as well as with weather planning, trip planning, not following your GPS blindly. Every fucking time someone hits a low bridge or ends up in some weird spot, 100% of the time the police report says they were following their GPS. Why do people not get it through their thick fucking skulls? Don't follow your GPS blindly. I cannot stress that enough. Trip plan, guys. I did my last delivery in Chula Vista, California. I just looked at a map. I made a wrong turn in there. I just looked at a map and had a pretty good idea of which exit off of 54 eastbound, I think it was more likely to be a good truck route, and I was right. It was a good truck route. But before I even got over there, I looked up on Google for Chula Vista truck route map. And next thing I know, I get a whole truck route map that shows me exactly which streets are truck routes and which ones are not. So before I got anywhere near there, I knew as soon as I got off, when I was on the 805 freeway, I could not use the Orange Street exit because the Orange Street across to the west was not a truck route, but Main Street, the very next exit south, was. So I made it a point. I'm going to use Main Street, no ifs, ands, or buts about it when I get into Chula Vista. Okay? I wasn't following GPS. And speaking of, sometimes your trip GPS is going to have obsolete information in it. Case in point, come to my neck of the woods, the Victorville. Go to Americal or somewhere in that area. Church and Dwight. It might tell you to use the Palmdale Road exit or exit 149 off 515 and go over to the east side of 15 and take Green Street Boulevard across until it runs into Hesperia Road. Okay, well, Green Tree Boulevard used to be a good truck route, but about 2 maybe 3 years ago, somewhere in that ballpark, I forget, they took Green Tree Boulevard, City of Victorville took Green Tree Boulevard off its list of truck routes. So, and they actually have signs up right by the golf course on one end, and then right as soon as you get on the Green Tree from Hesperia Road, going the other way, there are signs right there saying no trucks over 12,000 pounds or 96 inches in width. Right there. So you can get a ticket if you go that way. I'm not saying you will, but you can. And if you want the best chance of not getting a ticket, follow the truck route. Okay, cities may or may not have an actual map that you can use. Usually, at the very least, they might have a list of what streets are legit, whatever. All right, so I don't want to go too much into great detail because there's a whole bunch more I'm going to cover here. Yeah, you guys, we can go more in depth with that. If you guys have questions on how I do this or that, whatever, or what can I teach you about this or that, ask away. I will answer it in a future video. Okay. Next one, Ice 187 DNA, also known as Lisa. Well, I had already talked to her about this personally. She and I are friends on Facebook. She had made a comment about lost color resolution in my left mirror camera on one of the videos. Yeah, that's something. I don't know what the story is with these these cameras. They are not the greatest exterior cameras in the world. The two camera system I previously had in my truck, I like the exterior camera in it better. But it was only one camera on the outside, not two. Because that camera could record in 1080p, whereas these two here only do 720. And it was just a better quality camera too. I did not like how that camera plugged into the main chassis though. I will say that. I like the way these cameras here hook up to the chassis much, much better. Alright, so yeah, and then sometimes you will see in certain lighting conditions, my tractor will look maybe like a purplish color or a charcoal, whatever, even though it's really a kind of a medium dark blue. So if you see that, it's just the thing with these cameras. Next one, Khalif Abdul Samad. I was talking about Larry Miles. One of our drivers, 10 million mile driver. He's also, which organization? I can't remember, it was ATA or, okay, he won Driver of the Year award this year, or last year, for 2021, and that's not the first time he's won Driver of the Year for that organization, too. And he's been driving for JCT a while. Yeah, 10 million miles. A lot of people some people might call bullshit on that, but talk to him. He's a really good man. He really does have that kind of experience. It's all verifiable experience. He was an ice road trucker at one point in time. He did a lot of stuff stuff across Canada into Alaska and all that. So, yeah, he's done a lot. He doesn't really drive so much anymore. But now, if you're a new JCT driver, very highly likely you're going to meet him. When Cheryl Owens, our normal orientation person, is not available, Larry will actually sometimes do the orientations for her. And also, he still helps her with that anyway. When people go do their road and backing test during orientation, I believe Larry's one of the guys who tends to do that. Yeah, we'll actually take you out to do the eval. Yeah, really good guy, real nice guy. He only runs basically, I think, on the weekends only, for my understanding, over to the Tyson plant in Broken Bow, Oklahoma, which is, I just picked up from there myself not even a week ago, on the 14th. You guys, I know some of you guys saw that video. He basically he goes over there, picks up a load, and then I think drops it in our Oklahoma City drop yard, and then bobtails or deadheads, whatever, back to our terminal in Sapulpa. But yeah, wealth of good knowledge and good stories. Real nice guy. Good man. All right, next one, Rob Graham. I had talked about pull-through parking in a video, and he wanted he was kind of following up on that with how to actually do a good pull-through parking type of setup. Okay, so the information that I gave in that video that he commented on, where I said basically go about 1.5 spots past the hole I really want, and then come back to the hole. Now that is going to vary to some extent. One, it's going to depend on where your tandems are positioned. Are they all the way up front or all the way in the back? Also, how long is your trailer? Are you pulling a pup trailer, or are you pulling a 53, or are you pulling a 48 or something? Or, you know, what is your actual kingpin to rear axle dimension, or not the rear axle, but center of the axle group dimension? That's kind of going to dictate how much space you need to work with to make your turn. And make your turn with the back of the trailer in mind, not the front of your tractor. And practice. Okay, my turn is for Highway 41. That's 3/4 of a mile. But watch when you come into the spot. If you're doing it perfectly, you're going to end up, you're going to straighten out. You know, you'll get into the spot and straighten out, you know, because you'll do a button hook turn. You know, so if I'm making a left turn, I'll overshoot my spot by, it could be a space and a half. It could even be more if my tandems are further back, or if there's, if it's a more narrow lane to work with. And sometimes I'll even do a jackknife turn and then come back and then kind of do this little, what we call a 4x4 technique to get my tractor in there safely. Okay, we're going to head north on 41, and the very first exit is where we're going to exit. Well, really the only exit for most part. It's after you get past this exit, it's at grade crossings pretty much all the way up to Fresno, if I remember right. Okay, I'm watching my mirrors here. I'm not even merging yet. I already know what's going on here well before I get to the end of the lane. Alright, so yeah, those are all things you got to consider. And practice. And the thing you can do here, when you get your tractor going into the hole and starting to square up, if you're doing it perfectly, your tandem should be lined right up with the same spot as soon as your tractor lines up with that spot. Good place to practice is at also is when you're coming up to a fuel island. This is particularly when you're perpendicular. So the fuel island is facing up and you're facing sideways. That's what a 90-degree angle from the fuel island or the spot, whatever. That's what I mean by perpendicular. In case you need a little refresher on the geometry stuff. All right. Yeah, if your tandems end up too far to the driver's side and you're making a left turn, okay, it means you started your turn too early. Next time, do the same turn but start it later. If you start too late, your tandems will end up too far to the right. Same goes within doing your backings, your backing setups. If your tandems end up too far to the one side or another, chances are you started to turn too early. Alright, next one. Brandon Kelly asked, does stress ever affect a trucker when they don't have time off? The answer is yes. It really varies with every driver. I don't know, some people live for this, some people don't, whatever. Some people can't handle being not on the road more than maybe a couple weeks at a time. It's L4299 Charlie. I don't know who they are. Now, even just 2 weeks of non-stop running can be too much for some drivers. For me, I've gone a whole month, or even slightly more than a month, and and not had even a single day off. Where I ran at least some kind of miles every single day for 4+ weeks. Yeah, it's but yeah, it varies. It's for me. For me, it's not so much how many days straight I run. It's more the loads themselves. How much spare time do I have to work with on each load? Am I jammed up on my ETA, between my ETA and when it's supposed to be at a customer, where I feel like I'm running at a feverish pitch, like I don't have time to breathe, whatever. Or, I only have enough time to do a 10-hour break and then do my 30-minute breaks and nothing more. Because that's, even if I normally run that way anyway, I don't like the stress of feeling like I have to run that way. Because let's say if maybe I get a little sleepy or something and I want to take a nap or something along in the middle of my shift or whatnot. I'd rather have that luxury of time to work with, even just a little bit. So that's my biggest concern. I think that's the biggest stressor for most truckers, actually. Yeah, aside from not being able to get home when they want to get home. What do we got here? Delta 3972 Alpha. Semi-arrival call. Okay, so going back to that with stress, that's my biggest concern personally. Let's say it's, or I've had somewhere, I don't know, where I have to stretch my legs. Like I can do 700+ miles, but I usually won't do 700 without an ulterior motive to do it. It usually means like trying to get home or something, or maybe trying to set myself up best for a reload or something along that line. Or those are the times where I'll run 700+. Alright, let's go to yard move status if it'll ever let me.
You have 3 hours and 59 minutes of remaining drive time.
Come on. But I want to get out of that milk truck's way so he can get on the scale and check in, but I gotta fight with this damn Qualcomm. Okay, another form of stress for truckers is maybe having to deal with weather. Now, hey, I'm trying to get to the Pacific Northwest or something, and I have to deal with Elk Mountain, Wyoming, or something, and yeah, I got a good number of trailers here right now. I do see a JCT sitting over here. I don't know if I'm going to be live loading or drop hooking yet. We do a fair amount of both here. A lot of times it's drop hook, but I have done a number of live loads here as well. So I don't know. If I'm lucky, it'll just be a drop hook. I see another JCT. It's got its reefer running right there, and another JCT driver. So yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and just back into one of these spots here. Who's that? 4292. I don't want to be in anybody's way, so because I know that Camel Express guy is not going to be able to get out of his spot if I park next to him. So, and there's room here in the drop spots. Get a little bit closer to this other trailer here. I don't know if there's enough room there on the other side of me for another trailer to get dropped, so we'll make sure it's available. Okay, the dock doors are all occupied, mostly drop trailers, but one of them is a JCT trailer, so I don't know. Like I say, maybe we'll get lucky and we'll find out one of these trailers that's either already loaded or could be that one. It could be what I leave here with.
You have 3 hours and 59 minutes of remaining drive time.
We're gonna need a 6-digit pickup number. Mine's an 884 number. You'll get a few different numbers on your load assignment, but the 6-digit number, it's a pickup number, is the one you want. Alright guys, we're going to be live loading here. I had to wait a good hour or so. It's already 9:45. What time did I get here? 8? Something, not too long after 8, I would say. It's going to be, yeah, they're kind of busy here. They gave me door 3. The driver who's already in door 3 just now pulled out of it. He's still closing his doors, so pull out. You want me to put one load lock inside the trailer before I dock in? That's, yeah, as I was saying earlier, I've had a number of times where I live load here and a number of times where I drop hook. My weekend dispatcher said her system showed that I was set up for a drop hook, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe these guys are just busy and weren't able to preload it, because you see the doors are all occupied. So I'm gonna get my doors open and put a load lock inside real quick. Okay, I'll just keep creeping here so I don't have to go into yard move status and disrupt a brake.
You have 6 hours and 59 minutes of remaining drive time.
This guy will present a little bit of a challenge here until he leaves. Get my tandems over here a little bit more so it's a more shallow angle over to the door. Oh, there we go. I was watching the shag driver too. Yeah, he's hooking up to that other JCT drop trailer. So you know what? I'm gonna wait for him. I don't think it's gonna take him long. Alright, he's still hooking up, so. Alright, now he's walking off over to the office now. Oh, by the way, since I was able to get home yesterday, that means I was also able to get to my replacement cable. So, hopefully you'll see both mirror cameras working now. I did notice while I was just recent and while I was editing the final part of my delivery in Chula Vista that the driver's side channel was working fine on the way there and docking in, but was not working when I docked out. So hopefully I have better luck with it this time. It's a little bit crooked here, but it's alright. Okay, so we'll finish this up with more Q&A stuff and all that once I'm leaving here, right? Okay, guys, we're all. Okay, I don't need your shit. All right, guys, we're all done loading. Pull away from the door. Come up over here in front of these dumpsters, and we'll get the doors closed and go sign for our bills. And I think this guy in the other Peterbilt is probably might be docking into the end of my door. Get far enough out of the way where he can dock in or wherever. I don't know if that's where he's docking, but get over here. Alright guys, we're all sealed up and billed out and all that. Let's yard move it back to, come on. Check out that shipper. Ah, yeah, yard move over to the guard shack and get rolling. It's a 42,000 pound load. It's all, loads here are always over 40,000 pounds. Milk trucks don't just parked. I think they are. There's usually always milk trucks parked along that road there, so I'll assume that's what's going on. Now what's this one doing? I think he's trying to get in line with the other milk trucks or something, I don't know. Are these guys all trying to leave? Or are they all trying to get into the milk delivery? Double check. Nobody in there. Yeah, I think they're all in line to make their deliveries. Most of them don't even have drivers in their truck, so pretty sure that's all that's going on. They're just trying to get into. That's a lot of milk being delivered. Holy shit. There's another milk truck coming over here, just about to get off the scale now. Okay, I want to do one axle at a time, just so I can get an idea at first, so I can get a really good idea how it's going to scale out before I even leave. I'm still going to use the cat scale though. We got 11.6. I shouldn't have any more than 35, or 45, I mean. 45.6, whatever. And looks like we're at 44.6 or so. We'll say 44.640-ish. Okay, that's 33,000. A little over 33, so that one's good. Are you in too? Oh, no wonder I was in too high gear. I can't quite read the gauge. Like high 75,000 range. So it's good. Yeah, it'll scale just fine. It's like 75,960 or so. That's barely 31,000 on the tandem. So don't check. Okay, let's get out of here. I need a semi-departure info. At least get off the scale so those milk trucks behind me can get out of here also. Actually, I want to get my hoodie off. It's 68 degrees now. It's getting on the warm side. So I'll stop over here on the curb. I can send my departure info, get my hoodie off, and we'll finish this up. I know I'm going to be in a red zone slightly, but it's alright. I'm not going to be here very long. Just going to be here just long enough to get this hoodie off and send my departure info. Alright guys, let's get out of here. We'll head back toward Tulare. I'll get a scale ticket just so the other driver knows. I've already made contact with the other driver by phone, so he already knows what trailer number to look for and all that. He's actually in Barstow right now on a break, and he's under a loaded trailer. He actually presented the idea of taking the trailer over to him and taking his load into the yard, but it's like, I wouldn't mind, but I'm tight on the time I have to work with to get back to the San Bernardino yard, back to my house with an empty, so. Because normally I would PC home, but because I'm going to be bringing an empty home with me and deadheading, and it's kind of along the way to here again. It'd be better to just on duty drive like I should be doing. We'll make this turn. and we'll finish doing some more Q&A kind of stuff. I don't have much time left, I presume, before I need to worry about losing rear camera footage, if it even is going to show, because I can see that display is frozen. I mean, it's working, but it won't let me jump back and forth between the front and rear views. So I don't know what you guys are actually going to get. Okay, we're going to need to be in the left lane up here so we can hit the ramp over there. But I got cars coming up pretty fast up here on the left, so probably stay back at 50 or so, and once these first set of cars go by, I'll slide over as soon as I can. Got two cars behind me, so I wanted to signal early so they know that I'm trying to move over this way. They probably knew that I was gonna. Oh, they're going westbound anyway. Alright, so that was probably the busiest I've ever seen that place as far as milk trucks showing up to make deliveries. And I mean, I have seen it busier on the reefer side, but on the milk truck side, I mean, I'm used to seeing a line of trucks there, but not anywhere near as many as there were today. So I guess that's a good thing for Leprino. Watching that ramp back there. Looks like we're all good. Everybody so far is continuing through. Okay, I'm trying to get through these questions pretty fast. Alright, so the next one I have is from Caleb A. Wants to know how I like driving in Arizona overall. Overall, I would say I like Arizona. They don't have a split speed limit. And actually, they don't have truck lane restrictions either. So if there are 3 lanes there, and no, I guess I could have stayed in the other lane, but alright, yeah, if you can drive the same speed, the left lane is fair game to us. If we needed to pass somebody, then we're allowed to use it, which I think is good. I don't think there should be a split truck limit or lane restrictions. Maybe going up hills, I can understand to some extent having lane restrictions, but on flat terrain, there's no reason for that. Now Arizona, though, they are pretty notorious for doing impromptu pull over and level 1 or level 3 inspections on you. So there is that problem, but I've never had them pull me over for an inspection. Although they are known to do it quite a bit. So I can't say I have any real problems with driving in Arizona. And every time I'm in Arizona, it means I'm almost home, or then again, at least if I'm heading westbound. I can't complain. Alright, next one. Brandon Kelly had a comment on deliveries in Illinois. He's been watching me a while. He can't say he's really seen me do anything there before. And it's pretty accurate there. I can't say I don't do deliveries in Illinois, but they're very infrequent. I've delivered to Millard Cold Storage over in Geneva. This is with JCT specifically, by the way. There was another load I delivered. Actually, I had going to, I think, Aurora or somewhere in that area on the west. It's all western Chicago region. I'm in a bad spot here. There's a car on the right shoulder, but it's like 3 cars passing me. I can't do much. Now I had one that I was taking, I think Aurora or Batavia, or some people will call it Batavia. I call it Batavia though, because it looks like a German or Italian or whatever kind of word, and that's how those vowels are pronounced in that language, those languages. But I remember, yeah, I was under that load. I don't remember where it was actually going to, but I ended up swapping with Scotty D. Scotty D67. You guys, a lot of you guys on my channel know him very well. Swapped with him in Council Bluffs. I took his load to Janesville, Wisconsin, and then he delivered my Illinois load. I've also done, like I mentioned, Batavia a couple times. I had one that I took to Minooka, Illinois, I think it was, from Gloucester, Massachusetts. I'm not sure I've done any other loads into Illinois though. I mean, it's very seldom. I mean, they do happen. It's just very, very infrequent. All right, next one. Vince Webb wants to know why I'm not in Ottawa supporting my fellow truckers. I know that's a joke. That's some sarcasm, but at the same time, I'm sure some interest in what I think about that whole situation. And somebody else actually asked the same thing. Games Broke. Yeah, Games Broke, funny guy. He would regularly watch my live streams whenever on the occasions that I live stream. Also mentioned what's the deal with mandates and what are my thoughts on it. Okay, those kind of tie in together. So the mandates are really just a Canadian thing. So, and I don't ever go into Canada, so I don't even have a valid passport. I have a passport, but it's long expired. It was a military passport, and we don't do loads into Canada, so why do I need to worry about that? That doesn't affect me. I'll give my sentimental support to the Canadian truckers to have the freedom to choose what they want to do as far as getting vaccinated or not. Now, I personally am vaccinated. I'm going to be getting my booster actually this week coming up. But I do that by choice, and I don't really care what everybody else does. That's me personally. And if someone finds that it's most appropriate for them to not get the vaccine for whatever reason, hey, knock yourself out. That's your life, your problem to worry about, not mine. Same with the Canadian truckers. I support their right to choose whether they get the vaccine or not. If they don't want to get it, then they can put themselves at risk. I don't care. That's not my problem to worry about, though. So, Vince, I know you were just saying that kind of I think somewhat sarcastic comment, whatever. Just a little bit of humor, but it's also a good serious question, and it did get asked by Games Broke as well. So, there you go. Alright, next one. Andre Bratcher wants to know how many miles I have on my truck. Right now I have 832,941 miles on it. I will probably have upward of 870 or so by the time the truck's paid off. So it means I'll only get about a year out of the truck before it hits the 1,000,000 mile mark. And I hope hopefully it'll keep running long past 1,000,000 miles. Fingers crossed, guys. Because I do want to make some good money off this truck with it being paid off. I don't necessarily have to make super great money working my own loads. I do like the atmosphere at JCT, and as long as things don't change as far as how things are done at JCT after they get after the acquisition from damn it, Hirschbach. After Hirschbach's acquisition of us is complete, then as long as they don't make too many changes I don't like, whatever, I plan to stay here. But yeah, that's ultimately what I have for Miles. All right, next one, JLJN Sumter. Asked if poultry is all I ever do. I don't remember if it was the might have been the Tyson pickup and Waldron video. That way, it was one of the recent Tyson pickups that I did that question got asked in. The answer was no. However, Tyson is our #1 customer, and not all Tyson plants are chicken plants either. Actually, there are some that are beef, like Nebraska. I get the two mixed up between Lexington and Grand Island. One of them's a Tyson plant, the other one's a JBS plant. I get the two mixed up, but both of those are beef plants. And then there are Tyson loads when I pick up in Olathe, even though Olathe is a distribution center, it seems like most of the time when I pick up there, it's my loads are pork related loads. So yeah, a lot of Tyson, but they're not always going to be chicken, even when they are Tyson. And like I said, I also do JBS loads, Walmart quite a bit. Done some other chicken loads that go over to Milan, Missouri, Koch Foods or World's Best Dressed Chicken. So yeah, a lot of chicken loads ultimately, but yeah, I wouldn't say all I ever do though. Alright, last two here, both from Brandon Kelly. The first one is, does Tyson have a shipping problem? I guess there's some kind of problem with getting chicken stocked on the shelves at the stores there. Now, Brandon, if I'm not mistaken, you live in the Tracy, California area, because you've talked about when I come out that way or something. You never really specified if that's where you are, but I would assume that's where you are. I don't think that Tyson really does. It's more so what, it's really weird and hit and miss with these meat loads of any kind. Case in point, I picked up at the JBS plant in Cactus, Texas a while back, several months back, and somebody I know was also there picking up. Her load was due for dock out, or her drop dead time to leave there was the previous evening, and she was still sitting there waiting for her load. And I get there, my drop dead time wasn't until around the time I was getting there. Like the next day after she was already there, and my load was already ready to go. And I think we were even going to the same place or something. I can't remember for sure. So it's really strange. And I guess it has something to do with what batch they are coming from. Because like the cows that got put on my trailer, or the beef that got put on my trailer, the cows coming in might have came from a different farm, and might have had different standards on what they were needing, like heifers or bulls or whatever, whatever the lean standards are. And there's a lot there I'm not really super familiar with myself, but kind of how things tend to work there from my understanding. So that's part of the equation, and the other part could be your stores there might not be ordering enough product or something, or people are might even be panic buying, or they're ordering what should be enough, but people are possibly ordering more than they really buying really more than they should, and they're having a hard time keeping the stores the shelves stocked, I guess. I don't know. But meat loads also, and they're pretty notorious also for, like I was talking earlier there, you could end up waiting a long time for your load to be ready, and you can also have times where the load's ready to go early. I want to say this is a high-speed train line right here they're building. Yeah, the one that goes through Fresno, because I know it goes through Fresno and it comes down this direction, so pretty sure that's what all these posts are for. It's for the high-speed rail network. Alright, and then finally, it's not really a question as, well, I guess it was. Brandon was asking, I don't remember which video it was, could have been the broken bow pickup. If I knew that I had the bug on the windshield while I was doing the broken bow pickup video. And I say, yeah, that's kind of a fact of life with trucking when this time of year. Late winter, actually, when you start getting into spring, especially when you're in like Texas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Kansas, that whole region is especially notorious for getting all kinds of bug spot all over your windshield that you just can't do anything about. You just have to make regular stops to scrub your windshield clean at regular intervals, or just deal with it until you stop and whatever. So yeah, I can't. And it's when it comes to bugs, I try to avoid using my windshield washer fluid, because a lot of times what happens is all it does is smear the bug guts all over my windshield and makes it even worse. So I'd rather just leave the bug guts sitting where they're at and wait till I get to a truck stop and then use a squeegee and scrub it off. It just needs regular maintenance, unfortunately. Okay, anyway, that's all for the questions that I have to answer. I want to get this recording stopped so I don't risk losing data from when it first showed up there. So, as always, I want to thank you guys for watching. I'm going to be taking this one to our San Bernardino yard, and like I said, coming right back up here tomorrow with another empty to pick up another load. So, and that will also be getting dropped in the San Bernardino yard. That one will be going to Florence, Kentucky. But otherwise, you won't be seeing any new content from me more than likely until after I get done with my home time. I'm going to wager a bet it'll probably be a Walmart pickup in Colton or something. Never know. But I assume it would be somewhere like a Walmart in Colton or something else that I'll be doing on Thursday, on the 24th. So, and then you guys will see that get posted, hopefully, probably not the 25th, but maybe the 26th if all goes well. So, watch for that. Might try to put something else up in the meantime that's not related to driving, not in the middle of a driving shift. So I do have one or two other things I want to talk about. We'll see how things go. When I'm at home, it can really be extremely difficult to work on content while I'm there because noise and stuff. But anyway, whatever the case, probably around the 26th time frame is when you guys might see my next video. At least driving related. And we'll see you guys then, alright? Thanks a lot.